American man in his 50s fathers children with 24 women in Venezuela. A chaotic family story. I never planned to become a father to 24 children, and certainly not with 24 different women. But life has a strange way of rewriting your plans when desire, loneliness, and the illusion of love cloud your judgment. I was just a middle-aged American man running from a failed marriage, looking for meaning, or maybe just comfort, in the sultry arms of Venezuela's warmth. What I found instead was chaos. And a truth so absurd it still makes me laugh, even as it breaks my heart. And now, here I am, surrounded by babies who call me Papa, but only a few women who still call me Love. It started 5 years ago when I first arrived in Venezuela. I was 52, newly divorced after my wife of 26 years caught me texting someone half my age. We hadn't touched each other in years, and I convinced myself that what I did wasn't cheating. It was just seeking connection. That lie didn't hold for long. She left me with silence and a note that simply read, "I hope you find what you're looking for." I landed in Caracas with a small retirement fund and a head full of guilt. I wasn't looking for love. Not really. But I found it or something like it over and over again. Her name was Araceli, the first one. She was 28, with a laugh like a songbird and a body that moved like poetry. She worked at the corner cafe near my apartment. I started going every day just to hear her say my name in that soft, rolling Spanish. Señor Jack. One night she took my hand. The next, I stayed at her place. 3 months later, she told me she was pregnant. Panicked, of course. But she smiled and said, "No te preocupes, mi amor. This is beautiful." I didn't feel beautiful. I felt trapped, but also strangely alive. And then came Camila. Then Rosa. Then Lourdes. All young, warm-hearted, and impossibly affectionate. I never lied to them, not outright. I just never mentioned the others. In my mind, I convinced myself I was giving them something. Financial support, companionship, maybe even a chance at stability. But deep down, I knew it was me who needed them. Each new woman filled a hole the last one left behind. Each child was a fresh beginning I didn't know I was destroying. I told myself I was in love with each of them. I wasn't sure anymore what love really meant. Soon I was renting 3 apartments. I had kids calling me Poppy in different neighborhoods, and I celebrated more birthdays than I could keep track of. I remember once, I accidentally called Rosa's baby by Lourdes' son's name. Her stare chilled me to my bones. "You don't even know your own child," she said in a voice that trembled with rage and heartbreak. The guilt didn't come all at once. It crept in slowly. Like when I'd sit with one family, feeling their love, only to rush out and lie to another. My body ached from carrying this lie across city blocks. One day, I came home to find Araceli waiting on my doorstep. Her eyes were red, and her phone screen glowed with a picture of me, holding another woman's baby. Camila had posted it. It didn't take long before all the others knew. That was the day the illusion shattered. They all gathered. Not by design but because word traveled fast in a small neighborhood. I remember standing in the middle of a dusty park, surrounded by women I'd claimed to love and children whose names I was struggling to remember. Some women were silent. Others cried. One threw a shoe at me. Camila stepped forward, her arms crossed tightly. "How many?" she asked, her voice trembling. Pause. My mouth opened then closed. 24, I whispered. 24 children. Silence. I expected screaming. Violence. Something. But what came next was worse. They began to walk away. Not all at once, but one by one. Some dragging their children behind them. Some holding them close like shields. Except for Lourdes. She stayed behind. Her eyes held something, maybe pity, maybe confusion. "You weren't just lonely," she said quietly. "You were broken. And we," she gestured to the invisible weight of all the women, all the children, "we just became your bandages." Her words hit harder than any punch. She turned to leave but looked back once more. "I forgive you," she said. "But don't confuse that with loving you." In that moment I finally understood what I had done. I had turned love into a transaction, fatherhood into a performance, and intimacy into a shield for my own emptiness. I wasn't a lover. I wasn't a father. I was a man who ran from his own reflection, and created 24 new ones in the process. That night I sat alone in my apartment. The toys on the floor seemed to mock me. I poured myself a drink and looked in the mirror, but all I saw was a ghost. It's been 2 years since that day in the park. I still live in Venezuela. I don't run anymore. I show up to birthdays when I'm invited. I send money to every mother, every child, even the ones who never want to see me again. Not out of guilt anymore, but because it's the only way I know to take responsibility. I've started therapy. That's something I never thought I'd say out loud. It's helped me understand that I was never addicted to sex or women. I was addicted to feeling loved, even if it was only for a night. Do I regret it? Every single day. But I also feel something else, something closer to grace. Because some of these children smile when they see me. Some run to me with arms wide open. And in those small moments, I feel a flicker of redemption. I've written letters to each mother, handwritten, apologizing not just for the lies but for not valuing their love. I don't expect them to respond. Some have. Most haven't. There's no happy ending here. Just a man who lived selfishly, learning how to live honestly, even if it's a little too late. Sometimes I walk past that same park where it all came crashing down. I sit on the same bench. And when a stranger asks why I look so familiar, I just smile and say, I used to be someone else. 'Cause in a way I did die that day. And maybe, just maybe, that's what saved me.